ladies, actually it's new now. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this beautiful luncheon hosted by our First Lady, Paige Holland. And thank you so much for coming, and I know that you're seated, so before we have a blessing on the food, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you our beautiful First Lady, Paige Holland. She's truly a jewel, and I feel that she is the Kate Middleton of UVU. And as I was reading your bio, trying to be, thinking I was going to be like Sherry Dew and being really, really professional, I saw here born in Holland. So I thought, oh, I didn't know she was born in Holland. And I thought, what can I tell you? Okay, so Paige was born in Provo, Utah here, and went to Timpview High School, attended BYU, yay. And now, if this was open, you would have to come here. And she earned her degree in communication with an emphasis on broadcast journalism. And she worked in that field for a number of years, but now she is very busy raising her 4 children and helping President Holland to make this university into the amazing university that it has become. And as we know from being here, most of us in the past, that increasing the graduation rate of women in Utah has been the goal of President and Paige for 3 years now, well, actually since they came here to UVU. And this is the 3rd year that Paige has hosted this lovely luncheon, which has grown till we can't find a parking place ever again. And I like this sentence the best. Paige has hosted this luncheon to bring together some of the best minds in the Valley to focus on what we can do to support women in completing their education. Thank you, Paige, for all that you do and for bringing us all together today. I know that we can all say in unison that we love you.
I don't know if I can speak now. That was very emotional and beautiful for me, and I've got some things scripted, but I'm gonna go off script and just say that when Matt and I first came to the university, and we heard about the statistics, the low numbers of young women graduating from college, we just knew that we had to do something to help remedy that. And we were talking about things, and Matt said, so this would have been maybe 4 years ago, well, why don't you just get a group of maybe 20 really wonderful women together? And he said, I know that Karen Ashton has a table that seats 20 in her home. And you could just get those wonderful women together and brainstorm and talk and really maybe generate some great ideas. And here we are today. We've grown. We started out and I think we've quadrupled what we started with because we started with more than 20. But it is just absolutely so inspiring to be in a valley where there are so many wonderful women who take time out of their busy lives and want to make a difference for those women who've not had an opportunity to get an education, or for the young women who are growing up. And we know that education will change their lives in every way for the better. So thank you so much. And I just have to say that you are really, truly an amazing sight. And I'm also very proud of you that you found this place. It's not like Riverside Country Club, isn't it? This campus really is getting to be so big that navigating your way around here is really an accomplishment. So I've talked to President Holland, and in honor of finding your way here today, you will all be receiving 1 hour of college credit. So how about a hand for President Holland? And Barbara, thank you so much for that very kind introduction, and thank you for being an honorary hostess here for us today. Barbara really is an incredible woman for so many reasons. Did you know that she happened to just recently perform in the Ballet West production of Sleeping Beauty. She was the queen. There's her picture. Isn't she beautiful? We were able to see that, and it was an amazing performance. And along with Barbara, we have 4 other remarkable women here today who are serving as honorary hostesses. And I would love each of them to stand as I introduce them to you. Utah's First Lady, Jeanette Herbert. UVU Board of Trustees Vice Chair, Elaine Dalton. My dear friend Patty Edwards, who along with her husband, Lavelle Edwards, stands as one of the great pillars of our valley. And finally, acclaimed vocalist Nancy Perry Marriott. We're so fortunate today that Nancy, who is actually off stage right now, will be joining us shortly to perform a few musical numbers for us, which will be a real treat. So please join me in a round of thanks and applause for these wonderful women. I'd also like to thank our table hosts who will be leading discussions with you later today. Table hosts, will you please stand? These incredible ladies have been working so hard for several months to spread the word about our event and to host their own tables here today. So thank you so much. And again, a great big thanks to all of you for joining us today. It's so heartwarming to see so many impressive women here in this valley gathered here for the cause of supporting Utah women in higher education. And so as we begin today, I'd like to invite Marlise Jackson to the podium to give a blessing on the food, which has been so artfully prepared for us by UVU's own culinary arts students. Marlise?
Let's pray. Lord, I thank you for this incredible day that you've given us and for these amazing women who have gathered here today. Pray that you would ignite passion within us as we hear the speakers and we hear the music, that we can bring our time and our talent and our resources to continue to help what has already started here at UVU. And I appreciate this so much because my own daughter is growing because of women like this. So bless them, I pray. And we thank you for this food. We know somebody worked really hard to prepare it for us, and as wives and mothers and sisters and aunts and grandmas, we've all done this, and sometimes without thankfulness. And so I thank you for these people who've spent the time to do this for us, and I pray that it would nourish our bodies and that you would help us in everything that we say around the tables, that it would be pleasing to you. And now I humbly ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much, Marlise, for that beautiful prayer. And your lunches will, let's see, it looks like your salads are already on your table, so I invite you at this point to please enjoy your lunch. As many of you know, this annual gathering started 3 years ago with a vision that if the women of this valley got together, we could really make a meaningful difference on a very serious problem in our community. That in this state, not enough women go to college and finish their degrees. In fact, Utah and UVU have one of the lowest female participation rates in college of any state in any school in the nation. UVU's own Dr. Madsen has done path-breaking research detailing both how extensive this problem is and what some of the causes are. She has also shown how much of a difference a college education makes in every valuable aspect of a woman's life. Dr. Madsen's visible and effective statewide leadership on this issue has been invaluable. Susan, will you please stand? I know she's here. There she is right there. We are so proud of you and so appreciative of your work. Thank you so much. And like I said before, I cannot tell you how moved I am today to look out and see what began as just a modest little gathering has now grown to a group of roughly 500 strong, beautiful women who are committed to being a force for good on this critical issue. I'm also so delighted to share with you a brief video highlighting the many wonderful things happening on this campus to help women succeed in higher education. And many of them are happening as a result of your ideas or active involvement stemming from this annual luncheon. The video that you will now see is narrated by Ann Y. Rapeau. Ann is the director of the Women's Success Center here at UVU, which is doing excellent work to help women get an education.
In 2009, when President Holland assumed the position of UVU's sixth president, one of his strongest concerns was that not enough young women were coming to UVU, and specifically that they were not completing their degrees. He made it his mission to commit UVU to improving graduation rates for Utah women and continues to enhance the university's efforts to reach out to women, encouraging them to complete higher education and providing the resources they need to persist through graduation. UVU's core theme of inclusion means making the university a hospitable place for all. As part of that goal, UVU has taken a leading role in research of and support for women in education. To make the student experience more seamless and to provide a wider range of resources, Vice President of Student Affairs Michelle Taylor recently announced the implementation of Women's Success Services. This organizational umbrella leverages resources for multiple programs, from the We Care Center to Turning Point to the Women's Success Center. The newly expanded We Care Center opened its doors last fall, thanks in large part to a generous donation from the Barbara Barrington Jones Family Foundation and the support of many dynamic female leaders in the community. The larger center is designed to increase the number of student parents at UVU who may access affordable childcare right on campus, making it easier to attend classes and therefore complete their degrees. Students like Jasmine Cloward, who found herself widowed at a young age with 2 young children to support. She turned to the Women's Success Center for help. They helped Jasmine enroll her children in the We Care Center to allow her to work toward her goal of graduation.
The Women's Success Center has not only helped me emotionally, but financially. And without that financial help, none of this would have been possible. They have the kind of resources and the kind of connections to get me where I need to be. They are close with Turning Point and the We Care Center and other places. The We Care Center is the whole reason that I'm able to go to school. It's fascinating what they can do over there. Without the We Care Center, I wouldn't be able to go to school. I wouldn't be able to get my degree, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this.
The Women's Success Center was established to offer women the support and resources they need to complete their degree and gain the confidence, opportunity, and knowledge that come with a diploma. The center takes a holistic approach and offers individualized coaching, advocacy for students, networking, and scholarship opportunities. They believe education will improve women's lives and the lives of their families, increase financial stability, and ultimately positively impact society.
The Women's Success Center has been a very big help and a very big turning point for me. They believe in me. They give me a reason to get up and come to school because I feel that I'm working with women like myself, and also I'm there because of the needs that I have. I've just really enjoyed having a place where I can go and be myself, just knowing that they have things put together to help other women to be successful here at UVU.
The Women's Success Center saw me right away. I didn't need to make an appointment, and I didn't really want to make an appointment. I was having a really hard time. They listened to me. They gave me the best pep talk. That to me, just spoke volumes of what, why they're there. They want to be there to not only help you, listen to you. They want you to succeed.
The Women's Success Center also sponsors many events aimed at helping women in a multitude of ways, from exploring career fields to maximizing limited academic resources. 2 events the center sponsored this year were Beauty Redefined and the She Tech Explorer event. Last year, at a conference sponsored by the Equity and Education Center, Career and Technical Education Director Susan Thackeray delivered the keynote address to over 1,300 young women at Expanding Your Horizons, a program designed to inspire girls to recognize their potential to pursue opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and math.
Without the Women's Success Center, I wouldn't have been able to find these other resources that have helped pull me through and kept me going. Because especially right now, about halfway through the semester, I really start to drag and I really start to kind of slow down. And without these other resources and without these other bonds and friendships I've made, I wouldn't have been able to keep going.
There's places that we can go to get help, and the Women's Success Center is that place here on campus that it's mandatory. We have to have that. Women have to have a place where they can just kind of be themselves and vent about stuff that's not all school and all business. They're a staff of people that want to see you succeed. They're there for our traditional and our non-traditional students to really let women know that we can make it.
I don't think I would be here right now without the Women's Success Center, mostly because I was having a very rough time this year. Not really thinking that I should finish, or not finish right now at least. They just let me know, hey, it's okay. You're trying to do something for yourself. You need to do that for your family. Without someone else telling me that, I probably wouldn't have continued.
More women than ever are successfully reaching their educational and career goals at UVU, and we count each graduate we assist in her educational journey as a major accomplishment.
Anne and her team are doing simply a fabulous job supporting our students in so many ways. Anne, would you and all of your associates involved with the Women's Success Center and services please stand while we give you a round of applause for all of your efforts? They are right up there. Also, thanks to all of you who have been here before. Because of table discussions at previous luncheons, the center is carrying out new programs and activities with added resources. Many of you have gotten involved in supporting scholarships or serving as mentors. So a round of applause to all of you who have been involved in generating ideas and giving that active support. Also, I could not have been more thrilled or moved this past September when we cut the ribbon on the new We Care Center. There were many tears shed that day, starting with mine, and that new We Care Center never would have happened had it not been for the generosity of so many of you. Following the incredible lead of our honorary hostess, Barbara Barrington-Jones, who donated over $2 million to launch the program and make it possible, so many of you stepped forward and generously gave in order to close the balance and finish the project. If ever there was an example of the power that we as women have in this community to make a difference, this is it. So Barbara and all of you who contributed, thank you. And I'm so excited to be here with you again to continue our discussion about ways that we can help women in education. As we do so this year, we felt we might focus some of our time on one area in particular. The arts are a big part of our culture here in Utah Valley, and they're a big part of many women's lives. As mothers and concerned citizens and community leaders, we see how crucial the arts are for a well-rounded education and a healthy community. Furthermore, at UVU, 65% of the students in the School of the Arts are women. It is a school where women in particular feel drawn, yet the arts always seem to be in jeopardy when it comes to funding and facilities, limiting the opportunities and support needed for student success in this area. As a reminder of just how important the arts can be, we have a number of really wonderful performances for you today, starting with honorary hostess Nancy Peary Marriott. Nancy has performed extensively throughout the United States and internationally, including at the National Theater, the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts, and as a featured soloist with the Tabernacle Choir. On a personal note, during one recent holiday season, Matt and I and our daughter Mitzi were privileged to hear Nancy perform a special Christmas concert at Carnegie Hall. It was simply amazing. We are so fortunate to have her here today. And I also must note that Nancy is a great supporter of the arts. She made the leading gift that established UVU as an all-Steinway piano institution. She has also established a music scholarship and an arts opportunity fund at UVU. This past semester, she's been serving as a mentor for some of our students in our vocal masterclass. Nancy will be accompanied by UVU's own Director of Piano Studies, Hillary Dembski, who earned a Master of Music degree from the Juilliard School and won the highest graduate honor at the Munich Conservatory. I welcome these very talented ladies to the stage.
Maybe the sun gave me the power, but I could swim Loch Lomond and be home in half an hour. Maybe the air gave me the drive, for I'm all aglow and alive. What a day this has been, what a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. The birds in the trees and the wind and the breeze. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. Thank you. And now for something a little lighter in a different sort of way. It's light opera, and it's Adele's Laughing Song by Die Fledermaus by Strauss. My dear Marquis, it seems to me you should display more tact. Where a lady goes, what a lady shows is how she proves the fact. My taste is too fine and too chic. Oh, my waist has a line too unique. Oh, my talk is too dramatic. My walker is too erratic. What chambermaid you know could have so much to show? What chambermaid you know could have so much to show? Instead of putting on such airs, why don't you mind your own affairs? It's too funny. Please excuse me. I can't help it. You amuse me. You're wrong as you can be, Marquis. Just look at me, and you can see there's more than meets the eye. Where a lady's been, where a lady's seen, are proofs that never lie. Could I be at home in this room? Oh, if I were at home with a broom. Oh, the way I lift my eyebrow is typically eyebrow. What chambermaid you know could have so much to show? What chambermaid you know could have so much to show? You might as well admit, Marquis, you owe me an apology. It's too funny. Please excuse me. I can't help it. You amuse me. Jumble and the raindrops tumble around. Heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your to a place beyond the sun, just a step beyond that rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above those chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above those chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond that rainbow, why, oh, why can't Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Nancy. That was so beautiful and impressive. And I'm not sure that anyone enjoyed it more than our own Kyle Trustner. We are so thankful for Nancy coming all the way from Washington, D.C. to share her marvelous gifts with us today. And now, if I could, I'd like to just say a word here about how much the arts have meant in my own life and in the life of my family. I am so grateful to my mother, who wanted to be here today, but she's actually traveling. She got me started on the piano very early in life, and she always had our home filled with wonderful music. She also made sure that our family regularly attended plays and concerts and art shows. I literally grew up with the arts. I also want to say that when I met Matt, one of the things that impressed me most was that on top of all that he had done with his life, with his athletics and his school and his career, was that he grew up playing the violin. I didn't learn that until about 5 years into our marriage, but and I've never really heard him boast about this at all, but he was actually a first violinist with the Utah Youth Symphony. You see, Matthew also grew up in a home filled with the arts, something primarily fostered by his sweet mother, Patricia Holland, who happens to be here with us today. Pat, would you please stand for just a minute and be recognized? Now, I have to tell you that my mother-in-law is one of the most talented, well-rounded ladies I know. Like Matt, I've never heard her talk about her own accomplishments, but in addition to all that she has done in her life as a mother, an author, a public speaker, and a lifetime servant for the LDS Church, she lived in New York after graduating from high school to study voice with an acclaimed teacher from the Juilliard School of Music. Her love of music and the arts blessed my husband and his siblings. And I couldn't resist sharing this shot of Matt playing with his sister, Mary, who is one of my best friends, and she's also here today. Mary, where are you? Will you give us a little wave? There she is. So now, because of this training, Matt joins me in making sure that our children are being raised in the arts. Besides joining us regularly for arts performances here on campus and around the state, they are all currently taking piano lessons, including my 16-year-old football-playing son, something I consider a true modern-day miracle. I know you moms can relate out there. I just simply can't imagine what our family life would be like without the constant enrichment that the arts bring. So today, in addition to discussing ways to help women participate in higher education, I'd also like to have us think about how the arts and arts education in particular can help our female students and the community in general. So let's go ahead and get started. On the back of your programs, you will see 3 questions. At this point, I'd like you, your table host, to use these suggested questions or any other ideas you might have to lead a discussion about these issues. After the luncheon, I'll work with the table host to follow up on your ideas and see how we might implement them here and around the community. So ladies, let your creative juices flow as you have your table discussions. We had a wonderful discussion at our table. And I hate to stop you from discussing, because I know you're talking about great things, but I can't wait to hear what all of you discussed at your tables. Your table hostess will be providing us with those notes and ideas about the things, the concerns that you had and the things you addressed. And now we're going to shift gears. We've got a few more wonderful performances for you to show you how wonderful UVU art students are. We have some here today with us to perform for you. First, we'll hear from the UVU Chamber Choir. This outstanding group was one of only 9 college choirs in the country selected to perform at the top national conference last fall. And then our award-winning ballroom dance team will perform a traditional waltz for us. Following that, we will be treated to a theatrical reading by local actress Lisa Clark. Lisa is actually married to Chris Clark, the chair of the UVU Theater Department, who led our theater program to consecutive national victories at the Kennedy Center Theater Awards. Really awesome. We're so proud of them. And finally, we'll hear from UVU student Chelsea Nichols. She is a junior in the music education program. She is also a recipient of the scholarship that was generously started by Nancy Peary Marriott. She will speak about her experience with the Women's Success Center and the We Care Center, as well as the importance of the arts in her life. So, ladies, here is the Chamber Choir.
She walks in beauty like the night. Cloudless climes and stormy skies, and all that's best of dark and bright.
Dear Diary, so here we are, day 243 of the apocalypse. We've banded together in order to survive. Another day of rationing our number 10 hard cans of hard wheat and identifying edible bugs along the way. Our individual skills have been used for the common good and to justify our place within the pack. Our skills mean the difference between life and death. In our small communities, as we wander, looking for shelter, hiding out in the mountains, running from zombies, who can say for sure? We ask ourselves, what is my contribution here? Am I good with weapons? Can I fix cars, rework plumbing, or dig latrines, build homes, plant and harvest food? Diary, my husband and I, Christopher, are actors. We're theater nerds. The things that we are good at may not save lives or be needed, but they certainly distract people from their troubles and rouse their spirits. For a can of beans, a bottle of sterile alcohol, and half a pack of Band-Aids, come sundown, we'll put on a show. Tonight, we began rehearsals on our new play, Walking Dead, the musical. It's full of suspense, heart-wrenching drama, and arms that fall off. People are gonna love it. We're gonna survive this. I kid, but the arts are often overlooked as unimportant, frivolous, and unnecessary in a rigorous academic quest when nothing could be further from the truth. You know what I mean. It's that look of concern and apprehension when a daughter declares to her parents that she's going to study theater. And cautiously, but inevitably, everyone always asks, so what are you gonna do with that? Oh, I don't know. Tell a story, make you feel something, generate new ideas, expose you to different life views, experiences, or perspective, get you to look at complex social issues in a new way, make my life more meaningful and worth living, change the world. We like to think that education can be divided into neat compartmentalized nuggets and that we can rate in the order of importance, like building blocks. But becoming an educated person is not simply earning a degree, but being a curious lifelong learner, right? Learning is a more artistic process. It's like a play where actors, a director, designers, the audience all come together to work with each other and off each other to create something brand new. They enhance, borrow, and add on to each other. They're not competing with each other. I'm an actor, and more than anything else, I love to perform theater improv. My friends and I started the Thrillionaires Theater as an improvisation troupe several years ago, and it's been one of the greatest creations and accomplishments of my life. We improvise theater in different styles, so we get suggestions from the name of a play or a musical or the hit song that's never been written, and we make it up on the spot. All the dialogue and lyrics are completely made up with the other actors on stage with the audience's suggestions. We've done the genres of film noir, Oscar Wilde, Shakespeare, Western, B-science movie, 80s John Hughes movie, Jane Austen, and so forth. I can't act without others' contributions, and when we're improvising, we are using everything. The entire accumulation of our education and experiences, including all we've read, studied, seen, and somehow internalized. And when I act, I use everything. But for those who are interested in cold, hard facts, scientific proof that the arts complement other educational disciplines and that it's just not one-sided, we've got that on our side too. Studies show that the arts increase ACT test scores more than anything else. 4 years of art increases ACT scores by 100 points, while science and math increases at only 70 points. Try harder next time, STEM. The arts make vivid the fact that neither words in their literal form nor numbers exhaust what we can know. The arts teach students to think through and within a material. The arts teach that problems can have more than one solution and that questions can have more than one answer. The arts, especially theater, help individuals learn to say what sometimes cannot be said. And the arts, especially the theater, enable us to experience the world in ways we cannot through any other source. Alexis Carrel knew this. This Nobel Prize winner for organ implant used lace-making skills he learned from his mom. Eric Hellert, the mathematician and artist, noted several times that during his artistic experiments, he made scientific experiments. Of all the Nobel Prize winners of up to 2005, compared to the US public, they were 2 times more likely to be photographers, 4 times more likely to be musicians, 17 times more likely to be visual artists, and wait for it, for dramatic effect, 22 times more likely to be a performer. We are not ingesting facts and skills as we become truly educated. We are learning to think, observe, imagine, visualize, problem solve, and create. Art for art's sake is worth it. It has tremendous value that is often difficult to fully articulate, and that's what you do with a theater degree. UVU has been so successful with their theater program, as mentioned in my introduction, and it's seen a lot of national success by winning awards given out by the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and I'm proud of their commitment to the arts and to women, because this is a women's issue. As noted before, Paige mentioned that this department is 65% women, so supporting the arts is supporting women and women issues. But it makes sense that women are drawn to the arts because we are the storytellers and the creators, the expressive storytellers. We want to understand and express ourselves and learn truths, and we do that through artistic expression, even though it makes us vulnerable, and it's sometimes very uncomfortable because we know it's worth the risk. I studied English in college because I thought it was practical. Yeah. Anywho, but working as a voiceover artist and actor has allowed me to make a weird contribution to the world in my own way. While filming the web series Pretty Darn Funny, I was up a tree, literally, holding on to dear life, dressed as Katniss Everdeen, and realizing a lifelong dream. I was shooting something that I had written, produced, and was now acting in using my unique experiences as a woman. Sure, I was parodying the Hunger Games in a way to vent my frustration with feeding my 5 children all day, every day, and just wanting a little break. Yes, I'm not curing cancer, but this was a way for me to express my life experience in a different way, as well as to connect with other women and have a good laugh. That's the way I want to storytell. But back to my diary. Oh, diary. Brass tacks. I'm probably not gonna make it. Not only because I don't own a gun, and I'm a pacifist, and I'd let people have my food storage, but mostly because I have so many kids, and they're always eating my food storage and taking out the saved batteries and the toothbrushes, whatever. It's really hard to keep resupplying all of that. I'd like to think that my death will be very dramatic and entertaining, but it's not like I could have survived any better had I gone into accounting, you know? Besides, it's a well-known fact that every theater has a ghost, so Christopher and I plan to spend our second act haunting old theaters. Stay sweet and cute, Lisa.
Good afternoon, ladies. As I began preparing my remarks, I was overwhelmed with the gratitude I feel for each of you women who have been so supportive of students at UVU. I know how special it is to see women helping other women fulfill their dreams. I am thankful for the opportunity to share with you how all of your great help and charity has changed my life. I stand here as only one representative of many other students who are just like me. I'm from Los Angeles and grew up in a loving home. I filled my childhood days with dance class, piano, voice lessons, and by high school was performing with the local college. Realizing that being a music educator was what I lived for, I enrolled at BYU Idaho. Soon after, I was offered the incredible opportunity to audition for a prestigious performing group and spent the next 3 years traveling and learning extensive skills. My proud father would tell everyone he met that I was his daughter who would always smile and scatter sunshine wherever she goes. While with this group, I met my husband. We were married in the LA LDS temple, and I felt like I was on top of the world. Marrying the man of my dreams, performing all over the world, and fulfilling a lifetime goal of temple marriage. This feeling came to a jolting stop when I found out my husband had severe addiction problems. The following years were filled with heartache. It became hard to smile and scatter sunshine. Eventually, the stress became so unbearable that my physical health was affected. My days of singing and performing came to an end, but I was committed to keeping my family together and saving my marriage. Soon we were blessed with 3 wonderful children who filled the hole in my heart and created by the loss of music. I found a new joy in teaching them about all the wonderful things this world has to offer, while still battling to help my husband and hold my family together. After 8 years of emotional turmoil and increasing financial stress, I knelt on my knees in heartfelt prayer. I felt this is it. I needed to move on and finish my education. I came to UVU the next day and applied for classes. Happy I did not hesitate because it was the last day of registration. I told my husband my plans and told him I did not want to leave, but I would not allow my children or me to be put in such an unhealthy situation anymore. Something unexpected happened. I saw his countenance change. He began to change, and I was inspired we could make things work with this new life direction. Upon my decision to return to school, I knew I needed financial help. I was introduced to Turning Point and the Women's Success Center, where I received a partial scholarship, help with books, and wonderful encouragement and compassion. However, I was unable to access all of their resources as I was still married. I was still in need of more financial help. I knew I was supposed to go to school and find stability for my children, but did that mean I was going to have to break up my family without being able to give it one last push? I had the thought to go to the dean's office for one last effort. The staff was so kind, and I felt like they cared about me as an individual. They told me, "I'm not sure how, but we'll figure something out. We will do all we can to help you graduate." I was given hope for the future of my family at a time I needed it most. They helped me to part the clouds and once again smile and scatter sunshine. I expressed that my greatest challenge was childcare. I could not attend classes without it, but with multiple children, it is my biggest expense. I simply did not have the money. They told me of a special fund established just for this sort of situation, the School of the Arts Opportunity Fund. Because of this fund, my children now attend We Care, and they love it. They tell everyone they go to UVU for school. I know there are donors in this room that have contributed both to make the We Care Center and the Opportunity Fund possible, and I thank you with a full heart. To be able to take my babes to the We Care every day and drop them off happy, and for me to have the confidence they will have their minds working, their chubby hands painting, crafting, and exploring, and all their owies gently taken care of, allows me to go to my classes with a clear, worry-free mind. This makes a huge difference in my success as a student. Even though things have turned out different than I imagined, attending the school has given me the hope and ability to fulfill my dream of joy-filled motherhood and of being a music educator. UVU accepts you as who you are. They lift you to a higher place. They recognize me as a non-traditional student and allow me to be both a student and a mother. After receiving the help I did, I was able to really put my all into my education without the unceasing stress of, will I be able to attend classes next week? Now I can change the world through my growing children and the students that will grow in my future classrooms. Even when things are hard in my marriage, my schooling gives me the ability to smile, be filled with surety that life is good, and gives me the confidence to keep moving forward. Here is a room full of women that have already proven they can make a difference. I know my life has been changed because of this difference, and I am one of many. Just imagine what we could do if we all band together to help other students like me achieve their dreams. Just imagine all the lives we could change because a group of women saw a need and came to their aid. This is what you have done for me. I love the lyrics to a song played at Disneyland. It states, "So many miracles are happening around us every day. Look to the mountaintops, not the mountains in our way. Side by side, heart to heart, we can finish anything we start. Anything can be done with just one dream." Thank you.
It's clear to see that Chelsea is once again smiling and scattering sunshine. We're so proud of her and her commitment to finishing her education, and so grateful for so many of you who've helped to provide those resources so that she could achieve her dreams. And it's wonderful. We get to hear so many success stories like that. So thank you, Chelsea, so much for sharing your story. And thank you also to our wonderful UVU performers. Aren't they just terrific? Lisa, the singers, the dancers. It's so fun to see all the talent at UVU. And now, if I could, I'd like to invite to the podium the only man in the entire state with the necessary credentials to get into this exclusive women's luncheon. I'd like to invite my husband, Matt Holland, president of Utah Valley University, to come up and say a few words.
problem with being a public figure in a community you grew up in is there are a lot of people that knew that Matt Holland did some spectacularly stupid things growing up. And a number of those people are in this room. But one thing I did spectacularly well as a young man was marry. And I've confessed I've been eavesdropping back in a little corral for men only out miles away, and just watching this great program, and my awesome wife reminds me of that old line about what you call a man who's lost all of his intelligence, a widow. So certainly that would be true in my case. I adore Paige, and I'm every single day of life married to her, I've learned something important, and I'm very, very grateful. Grateful that she's decided to throw her weight and energies behind this important initiative. And she has a lot going on. We have 4 small children and a lot of other demands on her time, but she's really embraced this, and I think we've all been blessed as a result. So grateful to have my friend Nancy Perry Marriott here today. What a wonderful performance. Another round of applause for Nancy on that. Let me tell you my favorite Nancy Perry Marriott story. It's our first meeting, and she's already, she shouldn't be embarrassed by this. It's a great story on her part, not mine. I was a young 17-year-old page in the U.S. Senate. I was sort of a political science nerd from little. So I'd gone back to work for the summer, and she took great compassion on me and invited me over for a family night dinner, and gave me instructions on how to get there from Capitol Hill and what to tell the cab driver. And of course, sort of my style, I thought, well, I can kind of do this on my own. I'll take the metro out as far as I can go, and then I'll take the cab on my own. Long story short, I got in a very different place with a cab driver that didn't speak English, and I was an hour late. I called Nancy. She's trying to speak, and then we don't have an interpreter, and I ended up showing up at her home at 9 o'clock for my 7 o'clock dinner date. And everyone had eaten, and they'd had their family night, but there was my meal, lovingly prepared, sitting in a warming oven. And she said, and she was so positive and so loving and so happy, and said, I'm just so happy that this worked out this way because I got to use my warming oven. And I said, well, great. I'm happy I could provide that for you. And she said, it's the first time I've used it. I said, oh, that's great. When did you get it? 20 years ago. It was a wedding gift. I've never had to use it until tonight. And I just thought, what a great story. Here's a woman who's worked hard, and her family's worked hard, and they've been blessed with many, many means. But here she was frugally saving her warming oven until an incompetent like Matt Holland showed up and needed to be the user of it. So I think that speaks volumes about her, and we're so happy to have her here today. There are many exciting things going on this campus, and if I could, I'd like to just take a moment just to, we've talked a lot about women in education, the arts, and I want to say just a word or two about both of those things. But if I could, there are just a few things that are going on this campus. There's so much more we could talk about, but when we have such a great gathering of community leaders here, I think it's important for you to see what's happening on this campus and what we're accomplishing. First, great success with our Olympians, Noelle Pikus-Pace and Chris Folk. If you watched any of the Olympics, you saw their great accomplishments. Noelle really has emerged as sort of the character of the Olympics. She spoke yesterday at a major event in Salt Lake, just dazzled a room full of Salt Lake business leaders, and speaking with such eloquence and positiveness about her life. Such a compelling story where she got hit by a bobsled, had a compound fracture, had to fight back from that, and then she took it as far as she thought she could, thought she was at the end of her career, really, and then she had a tragic miscarriage, and as a form of rehabilitation, started competing again and came back to win a bronze medal. And Chris Folk part of this bobsled team, similar experiences of fighting back from adversity for great accomplishments. They're really reflective of the kind of students who are here at Utah Valley University. You came in today through a parking lot adjacent to a new student life and wellness building. This is a fantastic new facility with a track and an indoor climbing wall and weights and basketball courts. But it's more than just something for the body. It's for body, spirit, and mind. We have an ecumenical reflection center and a wellness center for counseling students who are in crisis and in need of emotional and mental encouragement and support. I think it's going to be a really fantastic gathering spot for our students that will have academic implications. All the data shows the more you can get students staying on this campus for any reason, they will pull more books off the library shelf, they'll study longer hours, their grades will go up. So we think this will really be a very holistic improvement to the campus. We just broke the ground, it seems yesterday. You saw the building going up, a large 250,000 square foot building. Give us 3,000 new additional class seats for all of this growth that's coming to Utah Valley University. Our greatest growth is from not just new students, but students who aren't transferring. Juniors and seniors who are having a great experience. We have the programs they want, and they love this engaged learning pedagogy, and so we've got to have a place to house them, and this new facility will really be terrific. Our dance team just came back from winning a national championship, and we're so proud of their accomplishments there in Daytona Beach, Florida. Our culinary program, Western Regional Chef of the Year. You're all the beneficiaries of that great cooking today. This was one of the great hazards of my job, is being at a university that has such a great program. And one of the couple of the last things I want to share, we had a great legislative victory this year. For years and years, I've been arguing that UVU has been underfunded relative to other institutions. There's been an inequity in the way that higher ed monies have been distributed, and we've been fighting very hard on that. Here's the problem. However you look at it, whether you look at it at a funding per student head, which is that table on the left, UVU's in the basement at $2,800, where we were below community colleges and sister institutions with similar mission. And I'm not even arguing we should be funded like the major research institutions, but we certainly ought to be, as just a matter of fairness, out of the basement there. On the right, that's a percentage of budget that comes from the state versus tuition. We used to have 60% of our budget coming to the state. We've been in free fall for the last few years, getting down around 38%. 2 years ago, we got $1 million equity adjustment. That kind of leveled things off, stopped the free fall. Last year, we got $2 million. It kind of started the curve back up. But this year, we argued to say, look, we are so far behind. Unless you do something really significant, it's a patent unfairness to the students and taxpayers of this valley, and it doesn't allow us to do the things that we've been talking about today, giving life and hope to students who need it the very most. And I have to say that because of the great efforts of a team here at UVU and the response of our state leaders, we've had great success. I see First Lady Herbert here, very grateful for the governor. He made this a priority in his budget. Speaker Becky Lockhart was here, just tremendous, powerful, talk about powerful female leadership. She was very strong in those budget negotiations in the end. And what we ended up with was $21 million new dollars of ongoing base funding. This will help us, thank you. I'll tell you one implication of this is this makes for a very happy president. This does not solve all of our problems. You can see we're not quite up to where we were before, but it really substantially addresses what's been a major issue and a limitation for us to do all that we need to do and want to do. So there are so many exciting things going on this campus, and I could go on, but let me just now come back to the topics at hand. The work that we are doing with women in education is truly leading the state. I thank Dr. Susan Madsen for her research. This is the second time in about 3 weeks that I've stood in front of a very impressive group of all women concerned about this issue. A few weeks ago, I was here at the invitation of Kathy Debenham. Kathy's got to be here. Kathy, where are you? Kathy is the leader of our UN group. We know, one thing we know, if young women are going to come to a campus and feel comfortable, they need to see role models. And Kathy's picked up the leadership from Susan Madsen for a Utah network of women leaders in higher education to talk and to coordinate and to learn best practices and to create opportunities so that there are women in great places that can be exemplars to these students. And so I want to thank Kathy for her great leadership. And I want to thank all of you for coming and getting involved with our Women's Success Center, for being mentors, for contributing to scholarships, for coming and doing guest lectures. And so please keep doing that. And if you're new to this luncheon and to this movement, please, I think Paige will explain a little bit of a way you can indicate if you'd like to get involved. But we need more of that. We need more mentors. We need more guest lectures. We need more involvement with you great ladies, with young women on this campus who need opportunity. And then the arts. It's a tremendous need. It is something that Paige and I care about. It seems that the women of this valley care about. We've heard a lot about that from our female leaders here, and it really does help so many of our female students where we have just the opposite sort of ratios. If every college had the ratios like our School of Arts did about women and men, would be having a men's success issue that we'd be working on. But we are not supporting them enough, and I know we're running out of time. I'd like to just, if I could, share with you a short video that shows you've seen how fantastic our programs are. Truly nationally recognized programs that you've seen displayed. You've heard about their awards. Our theater program, the back-to-back national championship, this is like winning the NCAA championship of theater, and we've done it twice. We're like the Duke of theater, all right? So anyway, but what we are not doing well enough at all is giving them proper facilities and support to carry out these programs. So if we could, we'll watch just a short video, and then I'll wrap up and invite Paige back.
UVU's choral department has helped me by not just expecting me, but encouraging me to reach to higher levels of professionalism and musicality. UVU has the potential to be one of the highest ranking music schools in the nation. The only thing holding us back is our lack of funds and facilities.
We have so much art thriving here, especially in the Salt Lake area, and so I would love to dance professionally, out of state, in state, internationally, it doesn't matter. Arts are a part of my life and it's important.
What you are about to see is a tour of UVU's current spaces for the School of Arts. You will hear from our faculty and see our students at work firsthand. You will also see the amazing things they have accomplished despite the challenges they face. One can only imagine what they could achieve with more. UVU's music department is home to 6 choirs and 3 full orchestras. They have performed for audiences locally, around the country, and even throughout the world. One of only 9 college choirs selected nationwide, the UVU Chamber Choir performed at the National Conference of the National Collegiate Choral Organization this past fall in Charleston, South Carolina. This is one of the highest honors a collegiate choir can attain. Yet with only 8 practice rooms for 230 music majors, the department is struggling to receive national accreditation.
First, second.
In recent years, the UVU Dance Department has made national news by performing on television shows like ABC's Dancing with the Stars and Fox's So You Think You Can Dance. But UVU's dance students have accomplished so much more. In addition, both ballet and modern dance students have attended conferences throughout the country and won many different awards. This is impressive, since last year several dance classes were canceled due to lack of space. UVU's art and visual communication students do everything from photography and graphic design to illustration and ceramics. These students have submitted their work in competitions throughout the country and have brought home countless medals and honors. Lauren Stratton, an art and visual communication student whose emphasis is printmaking, recently received a full tuition scholarship to Notre Dame's MFA program. This scholarship is awarded to only one student every other year. But students like Lauren have had to make do with small classrooms with ceilings so low they can't see over the computer monitor to watch demos projected on the pull-down screen. UVU's theater students are carving out a reputation for excellence among the community and other professionals in the industry. This year, the theater department made history, earning UVU the distinction of being the first in the country to win back-to-back top honors at the annual Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival, including Outstanding Production of a Musical and Outstanding Director.
In terms of my career and what this is going to mean for me going forward, the Kennedy Center is such a prestigious organization that everybody knows, and the people who work at the Kennedy Center know all kinds of people in the industry. So for me, to have this as a line on my resume is going to be fantastic. The guidance and the mentorship and the experience offered and provided to me as a student here at UVU is, sorry, it's incomparable. I have just been supported, which is the best way that I can seem to describe it.
We're grateful to have the space that we have. It's not adequate for training our students for the work that they're going to be doing after college.
We're preparing people for the future, not the past. We don't need to build a palace to the arts. We love what we have, and we're doing the best we can, and faculty and students are winning awards in spite of the facilities. Jason Alexander, who most people know as George in Seinfeld, was here working with his theater students. He looked around the arts facilities. He said, "How do you do what you're doing here?" And then he pulled back and said, "But it's obvious you are." He has great admiration for the faculty and students here, who are achieving great things with less than adequate facilities.
In just the past 10 years, UVU has grown from a community college to a state college and finally to a full-fledged university with more than 30,000 students. With such accelerated growth, there are bound to be growing pains. In recent years, UVU's physical space has increased dramatically to accommodate more students and better prepare them for the workforce or whatever may lie ahead. UVU's School of Arts is no exception to the demand for more physical space. It is truly incredible all our students have accomplished with such limited means. Imagine what they could do with modern facilities, proper practice and storage space, a proscenium stage, raised dance floors, and studios flooded with natural light.
Thank you. Well, thank you. You can see that we have a great need here, and we have a plan for moving forward. I think we've got a terrific sketch for how we can blend another building into this campus that will be artistically compelling and inspiring, also efficient for teaching and performance space, and we need to go make this happen. Our students need it. Again, so many of them are female students, but our students in general, and we need it to train our piano teachers and our violin teachers and our drama teachers and those who will go forward and make this community all that it can be. It really is a spectacular place to live, but we need your help to do this. Now, we're not asking for money today, but in the spirit of this ongoing dialogue about women in education, we are asking for your engagement. Would you like to get involved with this? Would you like to think about how we might pursue a campaign to go get this started? And that's all we're asking for today, and thank you for your consideration on that, and to see that again as just a piece part of this larger and really more fundamental issue about what we can do to transform our culture here so that more young women feel like a university is a place for them. It's never been more important for these women to come and get a degree at whatever stage, a certificate, a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, so that they can live lives of health and well-being and make great contributions wherever they go. Many of us in this room have been very, very fortunate. We've had someone help us out. We've come from favorable circumstances, or we've been given a break. This is our chance to move that forward and to do the same for future generations that really can transform this whole community and eliminate so many problems that we will have inevitably if we don't address this very serious problem. I thank you for what you've done already. I thank my adorable wife for what she's done and what you're doing together. I look forward to continuing to be your partner with this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, honey, for that. I'm so proud of Matt and all the work he is doing. He just is giving UVU his all. He wants it to flourish. He wants the students to have the best experience possible. And I'm proud of him. And in conclusion, I just want to thank all of you again for taking the time out of your busy lives and for being with us today. We appreciate so much your friendship and your support. And I have to say, though, before we conclude, it is always so fun to have a gathering like this. But to pull something like this off takes work and effort of so many people. And in particular, 2 women, Nancy Smith and Jessica Ballard, have worked tirelessly to help make all of this happen. If Nancy, I think Nancy's right here at the front table, she could stand, and Jessica, let's just give them a round of applause. And there's Jessica in the back. It means so much to Matt and me to have all of you join us in this critical cause of helping more women get a higher education. We also want to thank you for your interest in and support of the arts and arts education in this community. The things we need to do here at UVU can't be accomplished without your great support. So in honor of this, we have a few small tokens of thanks for you. On your way out the door, we have volunteers who will hand a little package to you of a few things, including 2 tickets to any UVU arts performance in the upcoming year. There is also a thank you note with art created by one of our terrific students, Annalie Morris. And there is, a second card there that gives you a chance to indicate ways you might get more formally involved here at UVU with the things that we've been discussing today. But even before you head out the door, please see the little flower and porcelain vase at your place setting. These vases were lovingly handmade for you by our UVU ceramics department. Please take one with you as a thank you for all that you're doing. As a thank you for all that you're doing to make Utah Valley such an extraordinary place to live. It's been so nice to see you today. Have a wonderful day.